Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the forecast where we look at the astrology and numerology of an upcoming event in the celestial realms. And in this case, it is the amazing Gemini new moon. It's amazing because there are 5 planets in Gemini and they create this incredible stellium with the sun and moon. Venus being one, Venus being exactly conjunct the sun and moon at 16 degrees. And then there's also Jupiter and Mercury. The ruler is Mercury of this new moon. They're also part of the stellium. So it's extremely exciting, highly fortunate, because the two benefics, Jupiter and Venus, are part of the stellium. So this new moon happens on June 6th. At 1:39 p.m. Universal Time, that's 8:39 a.m. Eastern Time, New York, and 5:39 a.m. Pacific Time, Los Angeles. And you don't have to be a Gemini to benefit from this forecast. You have Gemini somewhere in your astrology birth chart. So this new moon takes place in one of your houses, in an area of your chart that is going to be really activated. We have an exact conjunction of Venus, Sun, and Moon at 16 degrees. Now, 16 degrees is the number of your intuition. In fact, it commands that you listen, because if you don't, you may miss something and it could trip you up. It could create a situation where you're basically not in flow. So 16 literally says listen, listen, listen. And 16 reduces to 7. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 is part of the mind triad in numerology, which is comprised of numbers 1, 5, and 7. And Gemini is the mind sign. It is ruled by Mercury and very much connected to mind. It is an air sign, so it's your thoughts, your communication. And on top of all of that, June in 2024, June adds up to a 14 universal month. And I know I'm dropping a lot on you right now, but this is exciting because 14 is the media number. Gemini is a media sign because it governs communication. And then we have this incredible new moon stellium with 5 planets, including Mercury. It's pretty awesome. So this Gemini new moon really invites you to pursue exciting opportunities and take action on your ideas, and also listen to things you can pick up from the ethers or from something you hear, because you're going to be moving at a faster pace now. This is all about quick decisions. You're excited about life. You're making fast progress. And this 16 degree triple conjunction of Venus with the sun and moon ensures that there's a lot of love and pleasure and fun and people you adore and a quest to be creative. All of this is part of this extraordinary beginning of June time for us. So beauty needs to be present with Venus there. Has to be a sense of appreciating the arts, appreciating contentment and the beauty in your environment. So beautifying your environment with flowers, with adornments, wear beautiful colors, have beautiful scents, essential oils. These are all things that you can really use to highlight and invigorate and inspire and beautify everything that you do. So Gemini is a sign of motion. It is an air sign, and air signs move very, very quickly. Radio waves are governed by air signs, so it's an instant feeling of activity and communication. So it's very intuitive. There's a lot of facts and info and data that come through in a Gemini period. And there's curiosity and a sense of exploration, and also putting your thoughts down on paper or speaking them somehow. So Gemini is amazing for listening, for teaching, for understanding lots of different viewpoints. The twins represent 2 sides of the coin, so that you actually are open to listening to another version of events. You become more aware, you have more options in a Gemini period, and there's a lot of variety too. So there's a sense of oh, let me explore this, and then you discover something, think through it, and there's a quick change of directions. You basically are really enjoying the moment, and you are also filled with a sense of let's just use our imagination and ingenuity to go and almost be like childlike. So Gemini rules relationships based on proximity. That includes siblings, neighbors, schoolmates, and roommates. All of those are covered by Gemini. And with the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, conjunct Jupiter, so Jupiter's at 2 degrees and Mercury's at 6 degrees Gemini. Like I said, they're all part of this 5-planet stellium. But with the ruler of the new moon conjunct Jupiter, and Jupiter being this incredibly abundant, positive, fortunate, benefic, like Venus, we're continuing that beautiful energy that began in May. Remember, it started actually the end of April, and then we had this beautiful Jupiter event with Venus and Uranus as well, and now it's continuing with this new moon. So there's a real sense of awakening to those qualities, those frequencies that cover abundance and joy and gratitude. And gratitude is really important. The enhancement of gratitude during this time, the enhancement of pleasure and kindness is really remarkable. Now, fortunately, we have a tense aspect as well. And I say fortunately because we need a tense aspect, and this is actually involving Saturn, because when there is a lot of pleasure and joy, we may sit down and not do much, right? Let life happen, in other words. But Saturn actually constricts, and Saturn creates a square to this whole slew of planets in Gemini. Saturn's at 18 degrees in Pisces, and this new moon's at 16 degrees Gemini. So there's the sense of restriction that comes from Saturn that is important because you will more easily get things done if you're not procrastinating, right? Procrastination can sometimes happen when there's a lot of good juju around, and Gemini also gets very curious and can get distracted. So we need another energetic force to help us hone in on what we want so we can actually get something done and use the good vibes to actually accomplish something and make headway in a positive way. So at 18 degrees Pisces, 18 is a number of love, unconditional love. It can also represent martyrdom on the shadow side. So be aware of that. That's where Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. So Saturn also likes seeding. Saturn leaves roots behind that have a lasting impact. So the seeds that you sow now are going to have a lasting impact, and they will exponentially impact you in the future if you put them to good use right now. So it's really your willingness to get down to work. A square is about action. Saturn is about work. And this willingness to work will directly measure how much you're going to get out of this incredible new moon. So this stellium in Gemini is remarkable. And Saturn is basically saying, take advantage of it, put it to work for you, and you will really be happy moving forward. You will reap the results. And we also have Mercury in Gemini trine to Pluto at the beginning of Aquarius. These are two air signs. This is a beautiful connection. The ruler of this new moon is Mercury. Now, Pluto is all about empowerment, and Mercury is our language, our body language, our words, the tone of our voice. So with Pluto in a beautiful harmonious trine, we can have intense, deep conversations. We feel recognized. Remember, Pluto is about empowerment, transformation. We feel appreciated. We can go to areas that maybe we didn't go before in terms of the Plutonian need to see the truth. So we have deeper perceptions of spirituality and what is driving us and driving the people around us or people in the news. We certainly have heightened intuitive abilities, heightened psychic senses. And, remember, this is right during the Gemini new moon, and it's all coming to a head, and Pluto is adding that that additional sense of courage to not fear discovering the nuts and bolts of the matter, the truth of the matter, in order to empower yourself and take advantage of this incredibly fortunate new moon. So your power and influence are really impactful at this time. You can feel expansive. Jupiter being right there in Gemini is enhancing everything. It's giving you a sense of good luck. It's your good luck charm, and Venus, of course, as well. So you have this sense of empowerment, of wanting to make discoveries, wanting to take risks. And it's so enhanced that I highly recommend that whatever project you wanted to launch or get started, this is a new moon after all, dive into it. With all this good news going on, you also want to know the upcoming news of what's coming up in June. And you can listen to a free excerpt of the June Premium Wealth Forecast, which is my subscription forecast, at premiumwealthforecast.com, and get a sense of the Premium Wealth Forecast, which includes every month a transmission by the Merlin Metatron Collective. This channeling is really amazing. It gives a preview of the month from their perspective. And you also get a PDF of every day of the month, the astrology and numerology, all detailed, a preview of the 2 lunations, the full moon and new moon, of course, the whole universal month energy. And I also include music that's aligned to the star code of the month. So you get all of that in the Premium Wealth Forecast. You can listen to the free excerpt for this month's edition, June 2024, at premiumwealthforecast.com. So enjoy that. Have a wonderful Gemini new moon. And I look forward to seeing you next week in our Star Codes podcast. Lots of love.